guy do? But they don't know you like them. You better. Just a second away from a full freak out in the studio. Here we are, second episode of Josh Barnett Conquers the World. Thank you for tuning in once more. Today's guest will be the unflappable Andy Williams, also known as @Andy Complains on Twitter and the Instagram. Glad to have you here today.
Glad to have you.
All right. Well, yeah, no, he speaks English. It's true. He's potty trained too. Thank you guys for following me from last week. Part of this format is I'm always going to start off with a rant, and today it's going to be a little more specific than some sort of general topic. We're actually going to go with MMA fighter Bigfoot Silva. So some of you may know that we have had a little bit of a past. Well, not really much of a past. Basically, he just shit-talked the hell out of me out of nowhere. I don't really know why. Funny enough, right after I'd essentially given a press conference describing about what a good job he did and how he's, really improving as a fighter and gave a great performance. So followed up my compliments with total shit talking. I don't know, maybe lost in translation, but he again decided to try and ply his trade by calling me out. And my simple response to all this is, it's not about fighting this guy. It's not about, I'm going to, get him in the cage and get mine and, make him eat his words. It's not that kind of thing, because getting in the cage means I'm going to get him paid. It means I'm going to make it so that he can put a house over his head, so that he can buy a better car. He can, buy all the soda pop and pizza that he wants. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm not going to give him a name. I'm not going to give him an opportunity to get more famous, more money, more anything. And in this case, simply put, if you don't like somebody, the best thing you can do is to simply not even acknowledge him at all. And this is as far as this is ever going to go. This is the last comment I'm ever going to make about this. I do not care about Bigfoot Silva. I'm never going to help him in any way, shape, or form by fighting him, by doing anything. And if it comes to fighting him, it'll just be in the street. And he always knows where he can find me. He's seen me at events. If he wants to scrap it up, then we'll scrap it up. But this isn't about the business of MMA. This is simply about, you don't slag a guy and then expect to get something in return. And, I said that on the MMA Hour. And his response on Twitter, I think he wrote it, maybe his manager did, I don't know, was quack, 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 all lowercase, exclamation point, no space. Sounds like a duck to me, period, no space. I don't know what the duck is. Let me hand you your second loss straight, no space, comma, no space, and it'll free up more time for pro wrestling and podcasts. No punctuation. To which Rohan Jukau then says, @Bigfoot Silva, @Josh L. Barnett, is scary saying it, exclamation point. Sounds like quack, 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 3 exclamation points.
I don't think ducks are that exciting.
I don't either.
I don't think they exclamate anything.
Doesn't really. No, I've never known a duck to be that
excited.
No. And so my response was, quack, quack, quack. Is this like the guy from the Lucio Fulci movie, The New York Ripper?
Which by far is probably like, the thing is, the movie was sick, and then they literally gave a killer a gimmick.
They did. And I didn't expect them to understand that. And in response, Bigfoot says, stop talk trash babyface, and if UFC like a fight, comma, with no spaces, take a fight like a man. I don't know what he means by that. I'll take anything like a man. I can grit my teeth and bear it, and, lube is always better or preferable. But honestly, I don't feel for him that way. Regardless of fighting, I'm not going on any dates with him either. So as far as my concern is, one, if you want something out of me, fighting is something to get out of me. this is personal. This is not about business. So, you know what? I don't see you. I ain't helping you. The last time you're ever going to hear from me. And, you know, have fun, dude. I'm sure you've got more quacks or ducks or misuse of grammar that you can use on Twitter as much as possible. I understand that English is not your native language, but it makes it difficult to insult me that way. Sorry. I guess I should respond with Portuguese through Google Translate to keep it on equal footing.
That would work. I mean, he could hire me. I'll talk shit for him if he hired me.
I think you could do a good job of that.
Yeah. Just contact me at andywilliams.fart and
.fart.
Yeah, dot fart. It's my own thing.
Well, all the .coms have pretty much been taken up at this point. All the good names,
Yeah.
you know, dogblowjob.com, that's gone.
Yeah, that's gone.
No, it doesn't matter. Heavy metal, kitty cat.
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna start my own thing.
Yeah, .fart.
.fart.
And everyone was into .tv, .cc at one point, right?
.fart,
.biz, .fart.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That's cool. It's just for garbage. Pure garbage.
Seems like a viable alternative.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
When can I get my .fart account? Do I have to go through GoDaddy or like Xvids?
Yeah, just go through Xvids, send it my way, and I'll yeah. You'll know you have a response when I send.
When I get a whole ton of spam about making my penis size bigger.
Yeah, yeah, or smaller.
Yeah,
mine is smaller.
This one simple trick will shrink your dink.
Yeah, just live my life. I'll just give you that.
Just boner killing moment after another.
That's about it.
I don't think I could live your life, Andy, especially being that your life at this moment is on Warped Tour.
On Warped Tour. This is our 6.5 one.
6.5 Warped because you're only halfway through it, huh?
No. We did in 2002. We did half of it.
They only wanted you for half of the tour.
That was it. And my amp got stolen the first day. They're just well, at that time too.
Who stole it then? What would it be, like Breaking Benjamin, maybe?
I don't know. Who would I honestly, it was like we were on some stage.
Veruca Salt.
I can't remember. No, they wouldn't have been on that. Come on. You're giving them too much credit. Warped Tour too much credit. No, I remember like the stage manager was like, "Hey, just leave your stuff over there."
Last time you ever listened to a stage manager, right?
Oh yeah, done. So like yeah, and then
what kind of amp was it?
A 5150.
It was crazy. It was
like a PV 5150. At that time, I mean, that was like a PV 5150 was like you know, that was like a new.
That
amp.
sounds like an amp made specifically to play only new metal, actually. Southern California
it's a really
or Riverside.
Good amp.
It sounds like the kind of amp that Motograde or whatever.
Believe it or not, really, you are on a Motograder kick today.
I can't help it. They're all dressed up in paint and slamming on a couple of springs wound over amps.
At that, I mean, okay. You just did a rant. I'm gonna do a rant now.
Go for it.
Well, nowadays it's funny because getting to like Warped Tour, like music that's nowadays, like the new metal era was like really cookie cutter, and it was all gimmick based. Mm-hmm. So like every band sounded exactly the same, but you'd be like, oh, these guys wear paint and have dreadlocks.
Yeah.
And then like
these guys just have dreadlocks with no paint.
Or like, oh, these guys like wear mechanics shirts. And then, like, you know what I mean? Like, it just always was like a thing.
Do they sing songs about taking out transmissions? They don't.
No, not at all. Maybe one song.
One song about, yeah.
But, like, music's kind of getting to that point now where, with all the staccato stuff. Everything is, like, Meshuggah-esque.
Yeah. But do they even play polyrhythms when they're doing it, or are they just staccato riff?
No, they do, like, polyrhythm stuff. But my point is that, like... they're all gimmick based now. Like if I was to go to someone like a person that doesn't really listen to music, and I played like said band, they would go like, okay, and then played another band, they would be like, oh, is this like the same band? And then you'd show them a picture and be like, oh no, these are the party guys. These guys wear suits on stage. This band, you know, has like weird hair. And then but they all have like gimmicks, so it's all based on image instead of like. So you're saying
that there is a style over substance,
absolutely,
within the music community, especially, and there's quite
it's just
possibly
like that type of band,
a corporate, even like a pushing towards that. Hey guys, no, you know, fight for your honor. Their hair swoops over the right eye, so you guys are called honor is dead, so you need to swoop your hair over the left eye, and you gotta use purple streaks, not pink ones.
That's what I think. I almost think it's almost like old Japanese wrestling, like Misawa wore green.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
but
Kawada was yellow.
But they were fucking cool.
I know that. But from like an American standpoint, looking at like Japanese wrestling, your standard guy would probably
Name
go like
any of those fucking shithole terrible bands. Okay.
Yeah.
That do anything half as cool as a Tiger Driver 91.
That's probably the sickest move ever.
Okay, we'll even go lower down Misawa's list. Just a Roaring Elbow.
Yeah. Which was
do they
sick.
even have a song?
I'll say that. Like every once in a while, when you're like walking around, you'll hear one thing and you'll hum it later.
So
you know what I mean?
It's something catchy, but which apparently might not have even been written by them. I hear.
Yeah.
There's a guy.
There's guys
that basically fill in their entire record library. Oh, dude,
that like help out and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty gnarly. And it's just, I don't know. I for me, like when ETID started, it was all about
ETID.
Well, every time I die. Okay, sorry. We won't use acronyms.
Now referred to as ETID from now on out.
It's just easier to say.
It is. It's a lot easier. Every time I die is a little bit of a mouthful.
ETID could also be embarking to infinity's door. You could.
That sounds like. It sounds like one of those
a prog
bands.
rock band now.
It does.
Yeah.
No,
I
you
wear
guys
a
are up
frilly
there.
shirt.
You just sit there like kind of swaying.
Yeah, I think
stage.
about dragons. Have a crow on my shoulder. It's cool.
Right, laser beams are shooting across your brow.
Yeah, but like when we started, it was all about it's still to this day about music, and we wanted to just like push the envelope. It wasn't about like trying to fit in like a perfect niche or anything like that. We just wanted to like be gnarly.
Well, how did the music get a start? Where are your musical roots, Mr. Williams?
My musical roots. Everyone in the band's a completely different person. Like Steven Jordan's favorite band is Green Day. I'm not even kidding. Like Green Day.
Green Day.
Yeah. Keith is like.
Blah, 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 blah. I'm singing like I'm English. Blah, blah. That guy?
Yeah, that guy.
All right.
And then like Keith listens to like Radiohead and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then I don't know. I listen to like gnarly stuff. I don't know. Like I listen to like Entombed and.
Yeah, but you didn't just
me,
come out the womb and be like,
no.
Entombed.
When I was a kid, I guess like the gnarly.
Well, I read the thing about you said, well, your dad essentially threatened you with
a gunshot.
With a shotgun to your face.
You made that up.
I may be taking liberties with this story.
My dad is a very violent person.
he said, you're either gonna buy this Black Flag album or I'm gonna
shoot your face off.
Yeah, I'm gonna run this shotgun right up your asshole.
Take this 45 and
yeah,
dude, yeah. But my dad and my mom were like, at like an early age,
in cahoots about
kind of just taught me to like be my own person.
They taught you that?
They taught me that. Well, yeah, kind of, because they didn't want me to fuck up. I couldn't go like do everything that I want. I couldn't be Frankenstein from Big Daddy, like that movie Big Daddy.
I guess so. There are limits, but
like,
they're reasonable limits.
Yeah,
but your dad put
my
Black Flag in your hands.
Well, my dad bought a Minor Threat record first. He went out and there was this music store in Buffalo called Home of Hits, and I think it was like Thursday or something like that, he would go up there and he would buy shit because he was into like, he was kind of trying to find, I guess he was trying to find his soul at the time. So he would like go up there and he would buy like new shit, and sometimes he would go up there and he would buy like a blues record, you know what I mean? And come
Best
back.
of Triumph.
Nah, he didn't really like Triumph. My dad,
a Triumph in that album, 79. It's like rock and roll something. That's a pretty damn good album.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about that. Right now, that's kind of my wheelhouse.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
But
all right, I'm not trying to steer you from the path.
But he would do some weird. He would like go up there and he would buy like a Muddy Waters record, or he would and come back, or like, you know what I mean. And then he went up and he started buying like punk records, and he started buying like the Buzzcocks. He would buy like Sex Pistols, buy like the Clash stuff, and then he bought a Minor Threat record, and he was like, "There's too much screaming, you can have it." And I listened to Minor Threat, and then I would just read thank you lists, And I would be like, oh shit, if these dudes are this cool, then like maybe this band Bad Brains would be cool, or Black Flag would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started doing that, and then I told my dad, I was like, hey, when you go up on Thursday, can you get me a Black Flag record? And he was like, yeah. And he brought me My War, and then that was it. Life was altered.
But that path didn't lead you directly to punk per se, or at least that's not what you were
Well,
saying.
at the time I was listening to like Slayer and stuff. Like I listened to like Metallica and
good
Slayer.
music.
Like I would listen to like metal. You know
Of
what
course,
I mean?
yeah.
And I was trying to find like the gnarliest shit in that.
Chemical
genre.
Warfare came on in the car, and you're like,
Yeah, it's the best.
yeah.
Like still to this day, I get like I don't know. You're the me and you are.
When they both guitars come in,
it's so
oh,
sick. Yeah, it's the best.
Makes
But
you want to pull your face off.
We're 2 months apart from each other.
Right.
you
No,
and I.
we might as well be separated at birth, brothers.
Yeah. So at that time, when you listen to Slayer now, you still become a 15-year-old kid.
I got you. The first time I listened to Show No Mercy, it scared me.
Yeah.
They said Satan so many times that I thought, I can't listen to this. I'm going to do something's going to happen to me because he just outright screams about Satan doing this and doing Satan's work. And I'm like, oh God, I can't.
And then
can't
years later, you're
album.
wearing an Inquisition.
I know.
shirt.
Yeah, of course.
But
right.
That's like that was.
It's a sick shirt.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, it's a great album too. Super riff heavy, dude. You will love this.
I'm
you know this.
I'm aware of the
I
Inquisition.
forgot. Yeah, you already know about Obscure Verses for the. Yeah, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, Inquisition.
Slayer was like you know, I still get stoked when I listen to Metallica. I do a DJ set called DJ First Four, and I just play the first 4 records.
I have seen you in action.
Yeah, and
with your sombrero of power.
Yeah, sombrero of power. I like that.
Yeah. So anyway, this melting pot inside that head of you, Black Flag, Minor Threat with GBH.
Anything that was like really
7 seconds.
No, I never really got it. It was too positive.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It was just too positive for me.
But and then combined with Slayer and then eventually Entombed. Yeah. I guess.
I mean, that was like when I had heard Left Hand Path, that was like that was My War all over again. Or like listening to Rain and Blood all over again, or you know what I mean? Like that was just.
And then there was your first band.
Oh,
how old were you then? Sirhan.
Well, my first band ever was Spam Beach. That was
Spam
the name of it, Spam Beach.
It sounds like an Adrenaline OD.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Cover band.
Nothing like it though. It was terrible. It's awful. Had no idea how to play guitar. I think I was 16 at that time.
All right.
Then I started a punk band called 187 for like 2 seconds.
Motherfucking mouth.
It was done. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then came Sirhan. It was like, I don't know, just a terrible guitar player. I wanted to play as fast as I possibly could. It was kind of grindy, kind of punky, kind of weird.
Sort of. But you were saying it was more like a grindcore band to begin with.
A little bit. Yeah. It was like a really, I guess kind of like Doom or something like that. Or
okay.
And yeah, we used with what I was telling you on the way here. We had like a podcast worth of stuff that we talked about on the way.
A ton. And I said
we're gonna do like a mental rewind.
Yeah, I said you needed to retell this story. So here you are. How old are you? How old is this Andy Williams?
Probably like 17, 18.
And you're still wrestling in high school, right? Or just finished?
At this time, I was still no, maybe at the end. Yeah, that might have been at the end. You were a
215 pounder?
No.
190.
I wrestle. Okay, my wrestling thing was I wrestled 167, and then 177, and then I ended up hurting our 215 in practice, and our coach was just like, "Well, you got to wrestle 215." And I couldn't gain the weight. I think like the minimum you could be was 192 at the time.
Yeah.
And I would eat as much as I could before weigh-in to get to 192, and then I would have to wrestle dudes that were like 215.
Well, you haven't had any trouble putting the weight on now.
Oh, thanks, guy. I'm a shitty guitar player, not a sport athlete.
A sport athlete
like you?
Yes.
One sport athlete.
I am a stupendous example of sport athlete.
Yeah.
I'm
not gonna say sports. You're not going out there and playing tennis.
Well, no, that's true. But tennis has a lot more in common to say MMA than a lot of other sports do.
Yeah, footwork.
It's that and one-on-one, right?
Yeah, I guess
the
you're
way
right.
I hit the ball, the way I return, the way I stroke the ball.
Yeah, you stroke a lot.
Yeah, I'm a master of stroking.
Yeah.
But that directly affects the outcome of the match. Like the way I hit the ball is it changes how you have to respond.
Yeah,
it's
of course.
me versus you.
Yeah.
But so
But yeah.
I'm more of a tennis fan than a soccer fan.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah, soccer's a pretty terrible sport.
Oh. You don't say.
I don't want to rant on that though, but you ranted last week on that.
I
don't
didn't
really
rant on
rant. It's
well,
just
what was your
my
thing
thing is this: I hated everyone that played soccer in high school. Like that was it. And so like my thing was just like, okay, like Eric Stimpson is like a dickhead and he plays soccer, so I'm never gonna play that sport. I'm never gonna watch it because those dudes suck.
Eric
and
Stimpson
if they
is
like
multiple
it,
dudes.
Well, I'm just using him as an example.
Any others?
No, I'm not gonna name any names anymore.
Oh, you said you would name names when we were off air.
No, that's cool.
All right. Fuck them. You don't
But
want to give them any press, right?
Exactly, man. Same thing.
Gotcha.
They're
Well,
my
high five on that.
They're my Antonio Silva. There you go, guys. I'm not going to give you any airtime.
So you got this band.
Yeah, and it
Sirhan.
was this. Yeah, and we had two singers.
Two of them.
Yeah, we had two singers. One's name was Malachi because he looked kind of like Malachi from Children of the Corn.
Okay. Ooh, that's creepy.
Real name was Derek.
Did he have a priest outfit or a little?
No, I wish he did. That would be cool. We'd probably be having a different conversation right now if he did. That band
Possibly.
probably would have blew up.
Would have gotten huge.
The music was garbage, so it probably never would. But and then we had another singer, and both
at the same time.
Yeah, and the other singer would carry a hammer. He had a hammer, and he would like attack the crowd and stuff
with a hammer.
Yeah.
Was he a big G.G. Allen fan or something?
No.
Because he didn't defecate on himself and then eat it.
No. I did DDT him once and split his head open and knocked him out. It was pretty cool.
Fantastic.
But anyways, the whole thing was I was talking about it, and we used to make this list of like people that weren't allowed at the show.
So the opposite of the
I
guest
would
list.
beat them up.
Hey, you know, Chuck Everest, if I see you at my show.
Yeah, that's really was how it was. It was like.
Was that on your flyer? Like, if you're on this list, don't show the fuck up?
It was on the flyer, yeah. Don't show up.
Or Andy will beat you up.
Just in general, you'll get beat up.
Yeah.
And that was the way it was. It was
was it
garbage
specific
time.
whether
I was a kid. I'm mellowed out now.
Smell it out so much that apparently you dropped some poor slob.
Oh, yesterday.
Yeah.
Or 2 days ago. It was 2 days ago. So I was playing. It was an arm punch. Well, I was carrying my guitar.
Yeah, of course.
Well, what am I gonna do? I don't have like enough time.
You can still put a little hip into it.
There was no time for that.
All right. I understood. I wasn't there. You had to react.
I knocked his tooth. I think I knocked his tooth out. Or his tooth was already knocked out prior to. But I put him on his ass. But that was it.
Just because?
No, he put blood on me. His face was bleeding. And he wiped it.
How could he get close enough to wipe the blood on you?
I was in the crowd.
Playing.
Yeah.
You're getting your jam on? What song?
I was definitely not getting
playing?
my jam on. It was No Son of Mine.
And
it was the
I've had that
ending.
song dedicated to me. It is a get your jam on kind of song.
But that last mosh part thing, I start, and I always go in the crowd and I'll play it. And Keith told the crowd to go around me. And they didn't. They just swarmed me. And like, whatever. I've
kid's
done
bleeding
it.
from
I've
his
done
face.
it a ton of times. Yeah. And then this time, this dude comes up to me, bleeding out of his face. He wipes the blood on his hands, wipes it on my shirt, and then tries to go after my face. So I hit him, and it was just, I'm not going to have blood on me. I don't care what the guidelines are. I don't want another person's blood that I don't know on me.
Is this always a situation?
What,
so
people bleeding?
Yeah, you're like, is it always a deal breaker to get blood on you?
Well, no, but I'm saying, okay, in your profession.
I'm not saying, I'm speaking for you.
Listen, I'm speaking for you right now. In your profession.
Mine. As a sport athlete.
You have to have, yeah. Oh, you're going to make fun of me until the day I die as a sport athlete. In your profession, blood is a thing.
But we get tested.
And you guys get tested. So, like, you're not going to go into a match not knowing that what the dude's got in him. Do you know what I mean?
What if I already knew what he's got in him? What if I'm already hip to that? What if I had a role in putting something in him?
Oh, then yeah. What is that called?
Pre-knowledge?
Pre-knowledge. But you get what I'm saying. In that,
I understand.
Some random ass dude
coming
up with me, and like,
no, I see.
I got in a fight in high school, and this dude bled all over my face, and it freaked me out. And then my mom kicked me in the balls after. This is a true story.
What prompted the ball kicking? Was it because she's like, how'd you let this dude bleed all over you?
Not at all. My mom is kind of a hard ass.
Oh, you don't say.
And she is. And I was in high school. I got in this fight I got this dude's blood all over me. I was freaking out. I got home. I cleaned up, and all my friends were waiting for me. And my mom wanted to prove the point that someone smaller than me could whoop my ass. So in front of all my friends,
was that a necessity?
She just
for you to know
kicked me
that
in the balls and dropped me. And she said, "Be careful because people my size can fuck you up."
What are you even gonna do in that? So what if you caught mom's kick? Are you gonna upend her on her head or something? It's your mom.
No, but I was not expecting my mom to
you don't expect your
kick me in the
mom
balls.
to come around and be like, "There, son. I heard you just got into a scrap. Blammo, right in the tool, right?"
Yeah, but that was the thing. It was just,
Evan, do you have something to add to getting kicked in the balls by your mom? Is this a?
I've never had it happen to me.
Yeah,
My mom showered me with love.
Yeah, I mean, my mom. I think
No,
that was the thing.
It was more love, less kicks in the balls.
She was just proving the point that I should keep my head up and not underestimate someone. Is basically it was a life lesson.
There was no one smaller than me in high school, so I never had to learn that lesson.
All right.
He did all the ball punching. Himself, kicking, whatever.
But my mom, I don't know. She was like trying to prove a point, and she proved the point, and all my friends laughed at me.
And now you've got all kinds of therapy that you need to go through.
No, I never had therapy. I love my parents. So yeah, and we just that was bullshit. And Steve Mitchell,
I got you.
Our current bass player was on the list once.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you ever reminded him that you were once on the list?
When the band, I just was about to start a story that was real bad. I'll say it anyways. When the band first started, he was really scared of knives. He still is, really scared of knives. And when the band first started...
So what if he's got an orange or, he needs to cut up a cucumber?
Oh, no. Scared if someone else has a knife.
That's a decent thing to be afraid of.
I think I just remembered the fact that, that shit went down. And I used to, when we first started the band, we didn't know about van. Or when we started the band, we didn't know about, van... We would just keep the seats in the van instead of building a loft or something. So I had a bench that was right in front of his, and every once in a while when he was laying down, I would pull my knife out and stick it in his face.
Is this a euphemism or are we being real?
I'm being dead serious, and just to freak him out and stuff like that. But still to this day, he's the most flinchy person ever. If you just
knives.
go that, no, just in general.
Oh, in
if
general.
you flinch, he was whoa, I thought it, and then you could do it 1 second later, and he still jumps. And he's just a really jumpy
person. He's
a
little rabbit.
He's no, he's great. He's great.
Is there anything wrong with rabbits?
No, I love rabbits.
I mean, they could be flinchy.
They don't quack like a duck.
They don't. With 3 exclamation points or none, either or.
I think ducks could look with exclamation points, though. If they...
Have you ever really looked in a duck's eyes?
We're on camera right now, so
the camera's right there. So
you can
throw
see
what
I'm talking about.
Throw your exclamation point.
Yeah, you could put an exclamation point right there.
Maybe. The Japanese could, I think. Oh, he's saying your glasses are obscuring it, Dusty.
Oh, really?
You got to do that face with the glasses off. Give him the real full thing.
Well, this is where you
drop
guys,
it on him.
You guys find out I got a wonky eye.
Even better.
I don't have a wonky eye. Like that. I'll keep these off.
I don't. No, it's okay. You can put them back on. I like them.
My Dusty.
No, I dig it. I'm a Dusty fan.
Yeah.
I'm a big Dusty fan.
Yeah.
I'm
sweating right now. I didn't think.
I
didn't think this was gonna go this route. I didn't think I was gonna talk about my mom kicking me in the balls.
Well,
it makes me sound awful. I'm pulling knives on people and making lists of everyone. I'm gonna be 37 in December. This happened when I was 18.
When I was 18, I was into getting kicked in the balls by my mother.
I wasn't into that.
And pulling knives on people that are flinchy.
Yeah, I wasn't into that.
Does he still have a problem with knives?
No, I don't know about the knife thing. But
how about you?
I haven't pulled a knife on him in like 10 years, over that. It's 16 years.
See how it goes.
Yeah, I probably should. I don't even carry a knife anymore.
What if you have to open a box or?
I don't. I just ask someone if they have one. I needed one really
bad. You're a knife
bad.
borrower now.
I bought a Mil Mascaris mask yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Let me suggest a cold steel knife. That would be a good.
Is it nice?
They are nice.
Sounds nice.
It's not cold steel.
Cold steel.
Yeah. You know what, man? You've been on my bad side. You don't want to get on my bad side.
Cold steel. Cold steel, you can have that.
That's from us to you.
Yeah. Put that promo on your website and suck it.
Well, they do tests where they show the knives, going through flesh, and ropes, and they do limit tests on the flexibility of the blades and how strong the locks are for the knives. They're legit.
On the way to meet you, I was listening to the Court Bauer, Steve Austin interview, and he talks because he was really good friends with Gary Hart, and he told some story about how Gary Hart, like the missing link, like shredded Gary Hart, and Gary Hart had that fake eye and he couldn't see out the right side, and like missing link like attacked him, and he thought that he was like getting ribbed, and then once he realized it was real, I guess apparently Gary Hart used to carry a razor on him all the time and slashed up missing links. It was one of the gnarliest stories I'd heard. And like Court Bauer is like not. If you like look at a picture of him, it was just really weird because he was like a business half of like WWE. You know what I mean? Like he worked under Stephanie and stuff like that, and then he's like telling a story about a guy slashing guys.
Another guy with it's like a prison rumble of some sort.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the story about? God dang it!
He's pulling the phone out.
Yeah, I'm pulling the phone.
You can see
I
that.
gotta remember his name.
You can actually see that.
The dude that fought Antonio Inoki on Ganru Island. Masa Saito. No. Yeah, Masa Saito? No. Maybe is that his name? Hold on.
The guy from the Orient Express with Pat Tanaka?
Yeah.
That guy? Mr. Saito?
Maybe. Come on.
I kind of like the fact that like the Orient Express wasn't Pat Tanaka.
Masa Saito.
Uh-oh. Getting serious.
Is a former Japanese professional wrestler better known as Mr. Sato or Masa Sato.
Would you do her?
Yeah, she sounded cool.
Probably
have some phone sex.
Sweet robot slit.
Yeah. Man, you.
Okay, so Masa Saito was no, we're not asking you a question. Go away.
I don't think
Masa Saito was
Apple would do that.
My HTC One will. It's very accurate at that. Masa Saito was Ken Patera's roommate on the road, apparently. Yeah. So that whole incident when Ken Patera went and he went to go to a McDonald's after a show.
Yeah, and they threw
it was
a rock.
closed, and he got super irate. And then, unlike any normal person who might, I don't know,
get back in their car and drive,
or if they were angry, pee on the door or something, or spit at it, or maybe throw a rock. He picked up a giant boulder because he's Ken Patera.
Yeah, he was the strongest man in the world.
Slung it through the window, right? Now, clearly, when a guy who looks like Ken Patera with his giant afro is enormous and picks up a boulder and throws it to do something, it's not going to be hard to track him down.
Yeah.
So these McDonald's employees relay the information of some gigantic muscle-bound behemoth throwing like a 400-pound boulder through a window or whatever. And, of course, they immediately find out where all the wrestlers are staying.
Yep.
And they figure out, it's Ken Patera. So they show up at the room, but Ken's not there. Masa Saito is.
Yeah.
But Masa Saito doesn't really speak English all that well because he's a Japanese fellow. So they come busting in the room. Masa Saito is there by his lonesome. He doesn't know what the hell is going on. And they don't know any better. They just come after him. And Masa Saito apparently trashes all these police officers because he was an Olympic-level wrestler at one time, and he's just known as one of the hardest dudes in Japanese pro wrestling. And he just starts mauling dudes. And, of course, they take him and throw him in jail for a bit, in prison.
Yeah.
I think he was there for 3 years. And the way I hear it, this wrestler tells me about talking to Masa. He goes, "Hey, dude, you were in prison, man, for 3 years, man. What was that like?" And Masa's response is, they feed me 3 times a day. Nobody fucks with me. Black guys don't fuck with me. The Mexicans don't fuck with me. The white people, nobody fucks with me. It's okay. It's relaxing. All right. The first time I ever met this dude, he's a little Parkinsoned out because of, being through such
abuse.
Yeah. I mean, being a pro wrestler is not an easy life, let me tell you. And, but he just had the nicest, friendliest grin on his face. Still built like a brick shithouse. Just this big, massive guy. You can tell he's older, but he used to be a serious athlete, and even still, he's got giant sausage fingers, and he's built like the kind of guy made to do hard work.
Yeah, hard work. Let me ask you a question about hands, because I read a bunch of things about Harley Race.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever met Harley Race?
I haven't, but he's got big rings, I hear.
I heard that dude can like crush an apple. Like he used to do this like weird hand game where like he would lock fingers with people, and dudes would say, like, he would be like, oh, let's play the hand game or whatever, you know, and they would like lock fingers, and like these big huge power dudes would just crumble under his like hands.
I don't know that for a fact. I know that I saw a video of Danny Hodge still crushing an apple in Japan.
Yeah.
This was maybe a month ago
Yeah.
or so. They were brought over for something, and my friends from the UWF Snake Pit over there, I think they had something to do with organizing it, and they stuck the apple in Danny Hodge's hand, and he's got to be 80 something.
Yeah, has to be.
Crushes it.
That's
Just
awesome.
going, man, I can't crush an apple now.
Yeah.
If
No,
it-
never.
You know, I wouldn't ask to have a bigger penis. I would like to have had bigger hands.
Yeah, dude, I have like
Me too.
this
My
hand
hands are
sucks.
small.
First of all, I have a broken finger on there, and just it stinks. But like I have like little, like straight out of the pool penis hands. Like that's what it is. Just little,
Just shriveled up,
just little shitty,
trying to hide from
straight out of the
sunlight.
pool penis hands. Like,
I
that's
won't
what
go
it
so
is.
far as to say that, but for a fighter, I have a good grip.
Yeah.
But I wish I had bigger hands.
Yeah,
Just a little more length.
yeah, that's it. Just a little more. I don't know.
What could I say? My dad had an
I mean, I'm a guitar
insane
player,
grip.
but
My dad had an insane grip.
yeah,
Even after having a stroke, he could still squeeze 200 pounds on a dynamometer in his right hand.
yeah,
And his thing used to be, my sister dated high school wrestlers, and they'd come by, and he's like, all right, so, you know, you're going to have her back at whatever time, you know, nice to meet you, and I'll see you later. And
Yeah.
watch these little, you know, high
Yeah.
school kids
Eh.
crumble to the floor. Like, it's all good.
good segment right here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into it now.
All right.
Now I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Go ahead.
All right. You know my vast knowledge of just shit.
Yes,
It's
it
terrible.
is almost.
I could talk about anything.
It is almost mind numbing
Yeah.
how much shit that you actually know.
Okay. So you're a dude that started. You
I am a
started.
dude.
Well, I know that. I've seen every bit of it. You started fighting young. You started fighting. You were in the UFC when you first started training. Well, even before that, you were in Shudo.
No,
Right?
I was never in Shudo.
You were never in Shudo.
Never in Shudo.
Wow. Well, there's some knowledge that I did not know. We had that talk before we were even on, where I thought that
Mm-hmm.
Paulson had
Yeah,
fought like
that,
Akira
like
Maeda and
rings.
stuff
Yeah,
like
no.
that.
Yeah, Paulson
Never.
was Shudo.
Okay. Let's get to the. So when you started the UFC, and you were like champ, or whatever, you were fighting like Randy Couture and dudes like that.
Yeah.
What is the difference between fighters at that time compared to like fighters now? Like I feel like at that point in time there were actual hard dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Like dudes that were like even without wrestling background or like that, just ass beaters.
Yeah,
Ass beaters don't exist anymore.
not so much.
Okay.
I mean, there are guys that could go out there and beat some ass.
Yeah.
But they are athleting to beat that ass. They
Yeah.
are basically just good athletes that pick something up that, I learned how to throw this punch and do this and just do everything really hard and really fast and just be athletic, essentially.
Okay.
You know, their knowledge of the sport doesn't get into an intricate level. And there's a template in terms of what an MMA fighter is essentially nowadays.
Yeah.
But back then, most people either were just some sort of straight up, just hard ass tough dude,
Yeah.
or they came from a background. They had a skill set that they have inherited into MMA, say, be it wrestling or
Yeah.
kung fu or who knows what. And that was a foundation from which they built everything else. But they
Yeah.
acquired skills around being a tough son of a bitch. Now it's more or less, I'm going to be a really, 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 really good athlete first, and then put skills around that.
Okay. So like when you were coming up, like was there? I know you personally,
Mm-hmm.
so I know you're not a dude that's like afraid of shit. Like you're not afraid of a guy. There's not a dude out there that you'd be like, shit, no, that dude, no. I don't want to fight that guy. Like you'll fight anyone. But when you were coming up, were there dudes where you were just like, I might want to wait a little bit on this guy because he's pretty, like, it was, going back and watching it, I think it was, Who was the dude that Tank folded up on the cage?
John Matua? Oh,
No,
no.
not John Matua.
Steve
Steve
Jenham?
Jenham?
Steve Jenham? No.
But I thought it was I want to say it was like a Brazilian guy or something.
No, it was a
wasn't.
white dude. He was a kickboxer. I can see that he was wearing like gray.
Oh yeah, Steve Nelmark.
Steve
Nelmark.
Nelmark. Yes.
But
But at
that
the
was close.
time, Steve Nelmark, I mean, going into that fight, I think Steve Nelmark, like dudes that knew about fighting, they were like, yo, this dude's, he had like a resume of like shit. Like, he
Yeah.
had like credentials. And like Tank was just a dude that was like, if he's going to put one on you, it's going to be bad news.
And then Tank had a boxing background, a wrestling background. He wrestled in college, actually.
But was he wrestling in college?
No, he wrestled.
Was he good?
I think he was decent.
Okay. But my point is that he was just a straight up ass beater. Like,
Yeah, he
He
was
was
a
a
guy
dude
that
that
didn't
was like-
matter what the
he was
going
gonna
to
fight you in a parking lot.
He goes into there against Oleg Taktarov. Oleg's got all these credentials
Yeah.
and,
I mean,
and
old
belts and things,
dude.
and he's like, I just really don't give a shit. I'm going to punch this guy in the face until he quits.
yeah. That's pretty
You
insane.
know, John Matua, 400 pounds, whatever,
Yeah.
Hawaiian art of bone breaking, and Tank's response basically to that is, you know, what the WTF.
He made him look like a child.
He did. He punched him
Yeah.
and then mocked him.
Like, yeah. But, like, that's what I'm saying is, like, now, is there any dude?
I mean, okay, the
I
Diaz
wanna s-
brothers,
Okay.
they're legit.
Yeah.
They're highly skilled, and they will really fight the hell out of you.
Yeah, yeah.
They'd fight the
You
hell
know,
out of me.
that's-
They'd fight the hell out of you.
I got to say
like,
that.
whatever.
Well, I never even thought of that. Like, those dudes.
Ronda Rousey is kind of like a throwback in a bit in that
for
her
sure.
strong point is her judo, right? She came in with this mastery of her sport
Yeah.
and then never, oh yeah, what did that even, started
you're good.
beatboxing.
You're
She
good.
never did that.
You're good.
She never moved away from that base. And
Yeah.
if anything, she just added to it.
Yeah.
And it's similar to, I remember one of my old wrestling coaches saying, look, it doesn't matter if they know what you're going to do. That doesn't mean that they can stop it. And
Yeah.
so Rhonda's like, well, I know I've spent this time mastering something. So instead of getting rid of it because someone's going to tell you, oh, well, you know, in MMA, we don't really do judo. Instead of being like, well, the hell with that. I'm going to use what I already know.
Yeah.
And I just adapt it in a way that makes sense for this. So, you know, Rhonda is a good example of somebody going skill first with athleticism.
Yeah.
Her judo skill is her main deal.
That whole camp though, I think is just they don't think they're gonna lose. Like going into it, like I think that other dudes take the strategy part a little too much and they make it a mental game to the point where like they're not psyching themselves out. I just remember like when I would wrestle, I would try to make it as, this sounds retarded, but I would try to make it as least amount my brain and just least amount my brain.
Least amount in your brain. Yeah, when you're a sport athlete, you want least amount in your brain.
You're shot.
When you compete sometime,
You are so shot.
always jump
Okay.
wrestle.
No, what I'm saying is I would try to make it not a mental game. I would try to just use
Oh, I don't think that was very hard for you to do.
my Oh God, this is the worst idea I ever had to be on this thing. And then I would just try to make it like physical. I'd just be like, okay, I'm gonna physically impose this person. I'm just gonna blast them right off
You're
the
gonna
bat.
impose them.
Yeah, I'm gonna impose them.
You hear that,
Is this
guys?
what you do?
Evan, he's
Is
gonna
this what you
physically
do?
impose them.
Is this what you do?
He's gonna psychologically
Just make fun
restrain
of people.
them.
I'm sweating now. I'm sweating now. I was a
I
special.
understand.
I was a special needs kid. Sorry, I didn't take an online IQ course. Like Josh likes to say that he took an online IQ test and he scored 150. So I never took the online course. So I'm sorry. I don't know.
Well, there was no course. It was just a test alone.
Yeah.
I skipped right past any courses.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Anyways.
did get a thing from University of Phoenix
Yeah.
in my junk mail once.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I never went to college.
I'm into adult education.
Yeah.
So I once went to a seminar on how to make a girl squirt.
Okay.
You know, it's all about furthering your knowledge in life.
Yeah. Totally. Especially in that realm.
It doesn't all realms.
Because
man.
really, when you're a grown up, that's all that matters.
it's pretty important.
Yeah.
But you know, as an adult, we often stop doing new things and trying to reach outside of our comfort zones. But when we're a kid, anything, we're trying to learn as much as possible,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, if someone came up to you like, oh, hey, Tommy,
Whatever.
Tommy Yesler, we have this guy.
Yep.
We have this guy who's going to teach us how to, fold origami cranes today.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, cool. I don't even know what a crane is yet, but I want to. What's an origami? I don't care. Just give me the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So as an adult, I'm like, oh yeah, man, squirting all over the place. Cool. That sounds rad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to this seminar.
Yeah.
And
Who wants just missionary?
Watch a woman take a silicone effigy, essentially, of the vagina, and start wailing away on it.
All right.
Why not? I actually had a notebook. That was funny. How people looked at me and, he's taking notes. People were just utterly embarrassed. I'd start conversations with folks.
Yeah.
This one girl was
you
like,
kind of have to.
Just please don't look at me. I'm like, I'm not sizing you up or anything. It's just, you're here. And I figured I'd just, and then of course, the other side of that is there's always at least a couple of those like, we're so open with our sexual escapades and our experience. We're just so cool. Hey, everybody, look at how cool we are about sex. Doesn't bother us. No, I could finger her in her butt right here. We don't care. No, it's natural. We're open. We're open about our sexuality. No, we're so cool with our sexuality. You are absolutely annoying.
Yeah.
Go away. I
I
don't
silk.
care.
They wear silk. They probably wear silk, like silk dresses.
Pirate shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get them out of here. I did yoga once.
Is that
Just
like
one time I went and it was, oh my God, I got talked into it by I was literally trying to take this girl on a date that worked at the gym that I trained at.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, let's go do yoga. And I was like, yeah, yoga, it sounds great. Yeah. So she's like, it's called Bikram yoga. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, sure. So I decided to go do this Bikram yoga. And she goes, bring 1 gallon of water, 2 towels, and blah. And I'm just like, oh, why do I need a gallon of water? And she's like, oh, it's 110 degrees. It's like, sick. Yeah, let's do this. So like I get there and like me being just a cynical prick, I'm like looking, there's like ponytails and fucking, it was just like the garb that was worn. It was like, dude, you're just doing this because you want to get laid by that dude. Like that's the only reason why. Your ponytail. It was just, okay, anyways.
Ponytail on a girl or on a guy?
On a guy.
Guy ponytails.
Guy ponytail wearing like a Speedo that like sucked as far up
I
into
bet it
him
supported him.
I saw everything. He was bent over in front of me for 1 hour straight. Anyways, so I'm in there and I'm just trying things.
Don't mind him.
I'm literally just trying things, and the lady's got like a Bobby Brown mic, and she's going, Andy, you're doing so good. And I'm just like, I haven't done one thing yet. I'm sweating. And I'm gonna die. This is the worst thing I've ever done.
I have never been brave enough to do any Bikram because I already know better. I am as Nordic in Germany as it comes and Germanic as it comes, and I'm just going to incinerate under that heat. I have done one where it was like 90-some degrees, and I sweated so hard that my mat started foaming when I tried to do movements. Yeah. And then the towel I brought, it was completely soaked. I was a disgusting pool of sweat, but it did make me feel better at the end of it. I got to tell you, I'm a fan of yoga. I've done DDP yoga.
Yeah, DDP yoga is great. You just do this over and over again.
Bam.
That's it.
Bam.
Yeah.
So.
We got to get into like.
So you got a new album coming out that doesn't have anything to do with yoga.
No.
Or DDP.
Mm-mm.
Probably more close to DDP than yoga.
Yeah, it has a little bit. Yeah.
So what can you say about it, man?
I don't know. I like it a lot. That's not the only thing I'm going to say about it. But I think it's definitely like our most primitive record. Mm-hmm. Like it's very fierce.
Like apes.
Yeah.
Apes like bashing skulls with other bones.
There's a lot of
like
that.
The beginning of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
A lot of it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like we tried to go out and make a record that I guess would best represent where we're at right now as people, and I think we did it. It was just basically like I don't don't know, it came out kind of like a big middle finger to like everything that's going on right now.
All right. Well, speaking of that, why don't we play something from said album?
Great segue.
I just really want to see the look on your face when you have to listen to your own music. It's great.
Well, yeah, everyone's gonna see it because I gotta watch.
So let's throw. This is Decaying with the Boys from Every Time I Die's new album.
This is the more BTO stuff.
It is more. It's more BT. We'll get into why Bachman Turner overweight, as it was referred to earlier. This is Decaying with the Boys from Parts Unknown, the new album from Every Time I Die. Take a listen.
Drums. This is gonna be on the whole time.
Gonna tweet about it.
Yeah. You know that's the footage they're gonna use.
Yeah, I know.
For anything. Watch the Josh Barnett podcast.
I love this little section, this little bridge.
Yeah. That's me. Is this is filmed, right? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I'm a grown up.
It's empty at least.
I'm blushing. I'm sweating. You're sweating.
Gus is actually stuck to the wall.
Yeah, he is. Is that how big he is?
I don't think that's the scale.
No. Probably Bob size. The BTO part.
Oh. Yeah,
Yeah.
easily. This is yeah, it's very BTO.
Yeah. Taking care of business. Yeah. This is me just not trying to be awkward. It's almost done. A Bolorama.
Yeah,
That's where I do it. I would start a Bolorama right there.
right there.
In the set.
Seg right into a Bolorama.
Mm-hmm. As soon as Keith's done.
So we played a little. So he's hanging out with my coach, Eric Paulson.
Let me just get. Can I give a? Okay. So me being the mark that I am for like MMA and like wrestling and stuff like that. Like I started when I first started watching fighting. I wanted to know everything, just like pro wrestling. Like I wanted to know about the Japanese guys and stuff like that. And it was really before the internet. It was almost impossible. Like you'd have to go to like RF Video and like order like videos of like Misawa wrestling.
Stuff, huh?
You'd
RF,
have,
yeah.
but you'd have to go and like actually buy Japanese DVDs and stuff. So like I remember as soon as YouTube came on, I would just once like the internet got big and YouTube started like getting popular and like started getting all this stuff, I was like, oh my god, like now I have all this stuff. And I started watching like old like Japanese fighting stuff.
Right, UWFI,
Yeah.
UWF, rings, Pancras.
And I remember I was like, this dude with a ponytail is so sick. And then I would like go and I would like search Eric Paulson and
Okay.
like, he was like a stunt guy. And he was like kind of like in movies. Yeah, he was like, well, he had a ponytail. So this is like the universal ponytail movement. But he would like do movies and stuff like that. And then like, didn't he have a couple students that were like actors and at that time?
Maybe. I mean, well, see, one of his main training partners, Chad Stahelski, went on to found 8711.
Yeah.
Action team, whatever,
Yeah.
and he does stunts Him and his crew do stunts for
Yeah.
every major, huge movie that you can think of just about.
So I was just like, I would do these like things. I started reading up about Eric Paulson. So like when I first met Josh, I think one of the first questions I asked you was like, yo, how cool is Eric Paulson? Because he just seemed like, it was like,
Well, now you can tell people how cool he is.
he's great. He's great.
And what's he think of Every Time I Die?
Well, he asked us if we were speed metal.
Yeah, which
Not
Evan.
speed metal.
Not
basically
not speed metal.
no, not. See, so many people use the term speed metal as interchangeable with any sort of extreme metal, which
Yeah. Speed
That's-
metal?
it's
No, sorry, man.
no.
And
Then it was
and then it was like, yo, so it's like
Molly Hatchet.
no, it was Leonard Skinner
Yeah,
into BTO.
yeah.
And then he told me a story about how he went and saw Bachman Turner overweight
at the county fair or something.
at the county fair, yeah, and they were like great, blah
Yeah.
blah blah. And then I'm too nice, so the whole time he's just like, so it's like that, yeah, it's totally like that. Yeah.
So I
It's
play
like Clutch,
him,
yes, it's like Clutch.
Partying is such sweet sorrow. Because I figure, this has got I mean, it's approachable, I guess,
Yeah.
for most. It's not the really fast, just
No,
manic riffing.
it's got a little
stuff.
bit of everything.
But it's got a little bit of everything, and I think, and then I went to take a shower, and I think it made it through half a song. As soon as it goes from the more southern fried rock part of it to
Into the heavy stuff.
yeah, then he's just like, oh, cool, awesome. No,
Hey,
click.
have you ever seen Creed Shreds? And he like pulls out the Creed Shreds video.
So yeah,
and,
Eric Paulson plays Creed Shreds on his phone. For
and I was
Andy.
like, dude, I was I don't know if this is a word, but I was marking out. And
That's a word.
I'm literally sitting next to Eric Paulson. He's showing me the Creed Shreds video, and like, my YouTube asshole self was like, "Oh my god, man! Like this is the ponytail guy. Like he's, Mr. Hollywood."
He used to, because of his association with Guru Dan
Yeah.
and Dan Inosanto and the whole Bruce Lee connection to that.
Yeah.
He had to go in the ring and do double nunchaku before
Yeah.
some of his early fights.
Dude, he can do anything. Like
Pretty much, he's a walking, talking encyclopedia of how to fuck
so,
a human
like
up.
he's a ground guy, but yet
Striking.
at the same time he's like, was it a karate?
He did some taekwondo and karate earlier in his days, but JKD, Muay Thai, boxing, Filipino style stuff. Weapons too.
Yeah, it's just like unreal that. I mean, it's just, yeah, the wealth of knowledge. Like most dudes are like, okay, I have a grappling coach, and then I have a striking coach, and then I have this. Then you just Eric Paulson's just like
All of them. In
a Swiss Army knife.
and he keeps you on your toes.
Yeah,
He's got that wild card thing going.
yeah. Well, that was the thing. I asked Josh. I was like, what does Eric do when he goes home? He's like, I have no idea.
Yeah, he sort of goes into his own little other dimension and
Yeah,
comes back out at some point.
yeah.
Returns
It's great.
to the rest of us.
It's great.
Albums.
Albums, okay.
What are you listening to right now?
Right now, that band Floor. You ever hear that band Torch?
Yes.
So the singer used to be in a band called Floor, and then they just started doing stuff again, and he wrote a new record for Floor, and it's killer. The record's awesome. I don't really know what the record's called though.
Okay.
Let me look that up.
All right. While you're
I
at
think it was
that,
the last thing I
Torch Floor. Have you ever heard of Valenfire? By the way, I've been
say that again.
Valenfire.
Oh yeah, I've heard the name. I've never
Yeah.
checked it out.
Ben from Ben Falgui from Goat Whore, who has a new album coming out. He's like, dude, you got to listen to this stuff. He was also the guy that turned me on to Nails.
Oh,
Him
yeah.
and Sammy from Goat Whore. Like,
Yeah.
you got to listen to Nails. And we listened to
I want to say that Todd would be pretty stoked to
Todd.
hear that, the singer of
Oh, yeah?
Todd Jones, yeah.
Well,
of
this
Nails.
guy, this buddy of mine, he's the lead singer for Lightning Swords of Death,
Yeah.
Fair and Loathing. And that guy, he's one of those dudes you're like, oh, so you sing, oh, and you design, and you directed the video, and you.
Yeah.
So in terms of
He's one of those
artistic,
guys,
you're
just-
like, fuck, you can just do it all.
Yeah.
And it's all cool. Like, you don't, none of it sucks ever. That's
Yeah.
great. Now I feel, crummy about my crayons
Yeah.
that I've just spilled off of the
Oblation
oblation.
by Floor. It's killer. It's awesome.
There's no like umlauts in the name or anything, right?
No.
Just floor.
Yeah, just Floor.
From torch to
It's like,
floor,
there
floor
it
to
is,
torch.
Floor. I've been listening to that a lot lately.
Linoleum is a good band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good song.
Oh,
Good.
Linoleum's great.
Yeah.
You ever heard of Chair?
Yeah, chair. Well, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
But Valenfire, yeah. Oh, I was supposed to do a video with, or Farron was gonna direct it, and they were gonna use me as this crazy psycho monster guy who is all hopped up on satanic blood. Yeah, sounded
That
really
would
cool.
do
It was
it.
for God's Cold Hands.
That'll do it.
For the video, or no, Wide Open Wound was gonna be the song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Todd Nails, I was more than happy to be that guy. Trust me. And we'll get to you being a Satanist at one point.
Okay. At one point, I don't know.
So you got Floor. What else?
Floor right now. I don't know. I've been listening. It sucks because
Octane.
I've been listening.
Sirius XM. Is that like your?
Yeah, man, that's all I listen to. But like me and Josh, I got terrible knees. My knees are shot, and I've been working out. I've been going to the gym harder than I've been just to try to get my legs in shape for tour. And I realized that I work out better to like really calm music than I do.
What would you consider really calm?
James Brown. It's not like calm, but
Nah,
for
no,
me though, that's not like a guy screaming in my, well, he kind of is.
Kind
a
of
guy
is. You know,
screaming,
he's pretty.
But
He's quite metal when it comes to thinking of soul music. James Brown's pretty metal.
It's more of like a feeling thing, I guess. Like stuff that like gets me like.
Is it like Steve Martin and the Jerk?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah.
But like like if you listen to like a band like Meshuggah, which they're the kings of that.
They're awesome.
Yeah, it's very like beat rhythm or beat driven.
Yeah.
So like you can get kind of into a cadence while you're like working out to like a band like that because it's like kind of like that. I try to like get that out in stuff that's like very fluid. Where like funk is like a very fluid music, and like I've been working after that. So I've been listening to a lot of like James Brown and Otis Redding and stuff like that to like just keep my heart rate down and just chill out.
No,
and
your
just
age,
concentrate.
you got to be careful.
Yeah, I will die. I'm 2 months younger than you.
Evan, what are you working out to?
Honestly, I feel a lot of the same way that you do. It's more mood based for me. It just kind of depends where I'm feeling at that day. But you're absolutely right about Meshuggah being like the king of workout bands because, like you said, you just get into like this rhythm that you can just keep going with. You can literally just like pump out reps timed with
thing though is
whatever signature they're hitting.
It's almost like Meshuggah. They have build-ups and stuff like that, but they have like very tiny build-ups that go to an intense part, and it almost will always lead to a thing. Like if you're on your last set of something, there's always a build-up that gets you over that hump. Like you'll get stoked. Pantera's kind of like that too. Where like Pantera, they were like the kings of setting a killer part up. You know what I mean? Like the End of Domination. That's like the best build-up.
That's
ever. I mean, it literally takes you to the edge of a cliff, and then boom, you fall.
Yeah,
it's killer. Like that's like the best. And Meshuggah like has this way of like setting things up, and you can almost get a setup like every 30 seconds. So like you're sitting there and you're like in your like set in the middle of your set, and right when you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, then like you get like the end of Future Breed Machine, and you're like, and you just powered up. It's sick. I'm really into
I saw it. I felt it.
Yeah, you felt that, right?
No, I did.
Yeah.
No.
I did watch.
Your chi went across the room and it almost knocked the speaker off of the table.
We played with Meshuggah at Download Festival one year, and I watched Thomas Hake. They played Future Breed Machine like 9 times faster than the record. Like it was almost like a Dillinger Escape Plan song at that point in time, and then like that last breakdown hits. And it was like he whiffed on a cymbal. Thomas Hake whiffed on a cymbal and went into like a 16-bar fill. It was like, and then he went. It was like magic. Like, and that shit. It doesn't happen to me anymore. Like I don't get music chubs anymore. Like
no,
because I'm around it all the time. So like, it's almost like you don't get a feeling of like okay. There's a band on Warped Tour called The Story So Far. Pop punk band. Usually not my thing.
Definitely not my thing at all. I hate that kind of music.
But it's
to be
just,
perfectly honest.
it's not my thing. But the way they do it's really good. Like for me,
because what you're saying is they're a very seasoned, well done version of what that genre is.
It's the best.
Seeing the best of it.
If someone was asking me, if an alien came down and said, "Hey, I heard of this thing called pop punk. Can you please show me the light?" I would be like, "Well, here's story so far, and this is the way it should be." You know what I mean? Like they do it perfectly, and they're young kids. We shared a bus with them in Europe, and when you're around someone like that, you I don't know, you get like a
what did they think
like
about
a kinship.
what did they think about your Satanism?
My Satanism? Oh, those dudes don't. They're like stoner kids. They smoke weed all day.
Because I read about you saying
the AOL thing.
Yes.
Yeah, on that.
About how you were considering being a priest in the Church of Satan.
Yeah,
or something.
well, okay. A lot of people. The thing that got me started on that was people started asking me if I would marry them.
Mm-hmm.
On that, and I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna
there's like a universal church. You can
just get
Yeah.
But I was like, well, if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna
might as well do it badass.
Do it right. And so I started like reading up about like I'm not interested in any. Like, I don't even think I'm not even like the whole Christian agenda thing doesn't bother me. Like people are gonna believe in the Tooth Fairy or Easter Bunny. We're stupid. We're like stupid creatures. So we're like made to follow. So like you can say anything you know what I mean? Like
but what if they wanted to worship, say, Rick Rude?
I'll sign up for that. 100% sign up for that. I love Rick Rude.
So anyways,
what basically what I was getting at is like if you're gonna read a book, you're gonna read a book because you're interested in the book or you're interested in the topic.
Right.
I'm not interested in Jesus. I'm not interested in Buddha. I'm not interested in shit like that. Anton LaVey wrote the Satanic Bible. And I was interested in that. So when I read it, it was just like, okay, anarchists, that's cool. I'm going to read about it.
Doest thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
Exactly. So, like, that was my thing. And then I just happened to be on tour with a Christian band when that guy asked, well, two. Yeah, Oh Sleeper and Devil Wears Prada. And this guy asked me this thing, and I was just like, I don't know, man. This is what I'm interested in right now. And
this is what's on my radar.
Blah, blah, blah. And it the cool part is that what we were talking about before is like sometimes if you're in a band and you're touring, like I'm a straight edge dude and all my dudes party and I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like
that's even an understatement at times.
It's not my life. You know what I mean? Like they don't fuck with me about it. I'm not going to fuck with them. You know what I mean? That's kind of thing. Sometimes you'll tour with a Christian band that like will hear about that stuff and they'll try to fuck with you about it.
Have they?
Sometimes like they'll start having like a conversation and it's like, okay, cool. Like,
but really you need to accept your Lord and Savior. You don't want to burn in hell forever, do you?
I'm just like, oh, cool. I'm going to go eat a sandwich and
live
another day.
My bag shower.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, and then you tour with like Under Oath who are like, you know, I guess looked at as like this huge Christian band, but like there's no agenda. That's what they believe in, and they know that I believe in something, and like that's it.
Did anybody get seriously offended by your consideration of the Church of Satan?
No, not at all. I mean, maybe there's a kid out there that's fucking bummed somewhere in like Iowa. It's like, I thought they had more to them. Did you follow through
on it?
No.
So you're a quitter.
No, not a quitter. I just put it aside for a little bit.
You know what?
Quitting is
Daniel from Watain, you know how he would feel about you.
Dude buries his clothes in the dirt. Okay? Dude throws blood in the crowd.
He does do that.
Yeah. Dude's got some animal
But if you're going to do it, if you're going to go that, I mean, dude, he is
100%, I'm a huge...
Opus Diaboli.
Yeah, he's great. I think that band is awesome. So, like, I can't... Yeah. He's more man than I am in that world.
Have you seen that video? TMZ picked up a video of Watain playing the last couple days.
Yeah.
Didn't see any puking.
I didn't either, but that's
TMZ
a little misleading.
A bunch of hipsters got some blood on them.
We did a tour. We did a tour 2 years ago with the Chariot, and every single day we were one room behind them. So like they would play there the night before, and we'd play there the day after, and the whole time I would just be like, just show me where they did their shit. And like go down there and you'd see like a pool of blood and like just shit everywhere. And you're like, oh my God, this is so cool. And everyone else is like, this is literally gross. This place smells like shit. And I'm just like, this is awesome, blah, blah. And there's blood still on the floor. And like, and we, the last show of the tour, we played at Peabody's in Cleveland. And they have the worst. They have a carpeted stage. And the stage just stunk.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible. And it was the last day of their tour. And apparently they were keeping the pig heads in these totes the whole tour, and they only got like this, like a group of pig heads at the beginning of the tour, so they were like keeping the same pig
Rotten
heads.
pig heads, yeah.
Just in it, the ones, there was like a security guard cleaning up. He's like, yeah, it was cool last night. I slipped on a piece of skin. It was awesome. Fell on the ground. And just it, like, I'll never forget the stink of that place. Like, it smells.
I guess
gross.
the lead singer of In This Moment, they were also following a booking of Watain, and went up to mic check, and the mic hadn't been cleaned, nothing, and Daniel had gotten all the strophus and just all over it, and she walks up to it and just goes and just horked everything all over the place.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
That's really cool.
But
I just, with that stuff, I like the fact that like they
exactly what they say they are.
That's exactly it. Like, not a lot of bands put themselves on their sleeves anymore.
And they do a hell of a job at putting a show together.
Yeah. I don't know how they fucking play. Like, I have a hard time if, like, call me a pussy, but I play guitar.
All right.
And if I spit and it lands on my neck, I'm like, oh my God, this is gross. Jesus. And I'm, like, wiping my neck down. Those dudes are like, oh, it's just blood. No big deal. It's cool. It's coagulated.
And the thing is, Sammy from Goatwhore told me a story about touring with those guys. And just the stench every night, but at the same time, they before their performance, they go into a room, they do their whole thing, and it's not a joke.
Intense.
And Sammy's like, oh man, that I have to do Sammy voice, dude, those guys from Watain, dude, man, I don't know, man, they just so into it, they ain't screwing around, Barnett, you know what I'm saying, dude. There's one time they were locked in the room, and some stagehand guy went to go back there and open the door. I said, dude, I wouldn't do that, dude. If you go in there, you're going to get fucked up. I'm telling you, dude. Listen, Barnett, these guys, they're not playing around, dude.
Great. That was a good impersonation.
That is a pretty good Sammy duet. I once watched Sammy walking down the hill from the House of Blues, drunk as a skunk, and we're all on Jaeger, and we're walking to do load in. Yeah. I'm going to help out. I'm a good dude.
Of course.
And Sammy slips and falls on the ground, falls straight on his back, downhill, and then he just throws his hand up with the horns in the air and just lays there.
Of course.
And me and John Fenton took a picture of that, their manager,
and
said, well, if you're going to be as metal as that, if you're going to fall on your ass, you just make it metal.
Yeah.
Sammy made it metal as shit.
Yeah.
Of course, he didn't help load anything in that night, of course, but it's all right.
Doesn't matter.
It's all right.
What was it? What Crowbar? He was on Oddfellows Rust. Crowbar?
Yeah.
He wrote it on that record. That record's so sick.
And I Hate God.
Yeah.
Acid Bath.
Yeah. It's awesome. New I Hate God. I've been listening to that. It's killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That record's awesome. And the new Down EP is awesome. Have you heard it?
Never really gotten it down.
Really?
No. But I did see Phil Anselmo in Crocs.
Yeah.
In real life.
Really?
He's a big dude. I didn't expect him to be
he's
that
actually
big.
pretty big. I got a pretty good I got a really good story.
Did you
about
see
that.
a ghost?
No, I just saw something on the wall.
All right.
But I have a good story about that.
It's not a hard 10. It's just we're trying to keep an idea.
We're zipping up soon.
Yeah.
All right. So we played with Full Force Fest in
Are
Germany.
you telling the story about I love the story.
It's the fucking best.
Okay. All right, go.
There's so much about it. So I've been known, I wear overalls a lot. And
I would never imagine it.
Yeah. But at the time, I had a beard similar, probably in size. I had a beard. I was wearing an Ultimate Warrior painter's cap that I got when I was 11 years old at the Niagara Convention Center. Anyways, so this whole day it was really weird. Like, our dressing rooms were right next to Downs, and the whole time, like, we're doing interviews, and like every single, someone would say something, and then like Phil would poke his head out and say something, and like, what got him involved with Every Time I Die was they asked us. It was like one of these like things where it's like they give you two choices. So it's like Heineken, and this was what it is, Heineken or Budweiser. And the guys were like, "Fuck Heineken, blah blah, Budweiser all day long." And like, oh no, it's Beck's. And dude comes out. Phil comes out and he's like, "Who said they didn't like Beck's?" And everyone in the band just goes, "We love Beck's. Beck's is now the best beer ever, blah, blah." And now he's like in this interview with us. And like now that he's asking us what we like more or less. Mm-hmm. So then it's like done, shake hands, blah, blah, blah. Later that night, he gives us literally like, there was like 60,000 people watching down. It was insane, like how many people were watching him. And he just keeps looking at us and making jokes to us like there's not 60,000 people. Like they're playing, we're on the side of the stage, and he's like, "You know what I'm saying, guys?" And we're just like just like terrified. Like at some point in time, he's gonna like make fun of us or something. Yeah. This is way off topic, but at some point in time, this is how cool he is. Someone throws a rubber dick at him. 60,000 people.
They dodge it?
And but this is the thing. Like if the stage is here, he's facing this way, looking over, and a dick just flies through the air, and he just sticks his hand out and catches it. Like, wasn't even looking. It was just like, boom, rubber dick in his hand. And he's like this, and he, like, puts it down, and he's like, now he's got, like, this rubber dick. He's walking around the rubber dick. Whatever. It was just amazing that he just stuck his hand out, and it was there. A rubber dick in his hand. Fast forward. So when that stage ended, there was, like, this weird break of, like, 2 hours, and Napalm Death was going on at midnight. So like band stopped at like 9:30 on that stage, and then there was like this weird break, and then starting at 12 Napalm Death went on. At 4 a.m. Marduk went on.
Oh fuck yeah.
4 a.m. Marduk.
I could see Daniel. I could see Daniel from Marduk pulling that off.
So I'm like, Napalm Death's gonna be so sick, like this is gonna be great. Like now the party starts, like cool bands, you know. So I go to the Napalm Death, and like there's a whole line of people, and it's like Phil Anselmo, Jimmy Bauer, Kirk Weinstein, like all these people, and they're like, "Come here, man." And I'm just like, I guess I'll watch Napalm Death with you guys. That's cool. And I kind of like get set in, and something had happened where Phil's wife like walked out, and these like security dudes were following after him or after her, and they were mad. So like Phil, angry. Basically like put his hand out, was like, "Hey, you know, everything's cool, blah blah," and like they walked away. So like set is done, we're all walking off the stage, and these dudes come back out, and they grab her, and all the guys go like leave, and like the last couple guys were like me and Jimmy Bauer and I think Pepper, and this guy grabs her and says something to her, and I don't know what he said, but I want to say that he said something along the lines of like something very disrespectful. Okay. And Jimmy Bauer heard it, and boom, slaps his hand. God, and he's pointing his finger, and he's saying this stuff. Well, Phil turns around and sees it, and then out of nowhere, just World War V happens, and like he's just saying like, "Fuck this place! I'm gonna fucking kill everyone!" Blah blah, and the next band that goes on is Godseed. Yeah. So Gall is like, mind you, Gall in my world. In my life, Gall is like the coolest dude in the world.
He's pretty rad.
He's rad. Like pure Satan guy.
And then comes out as being homosexual and being like, fuck you about that too.
He's
what are you going to
do? When dudes talk about punk rock, he is the most punk rock dude on the fucking planet.
And he's known for kidnapping someone and torturing them.
Yeah. On top of that. Yeah. So this whole thing is going on, and it's like you have this down crew of like Louisiana, Texas guys,
beer drinking hard ass.
Just that, and then these like weird German like stage manager guys, and they're yelling back and forth, and then Gall is like in the middle of them wearing corpse paint, just stoic like this, like getting
covered in spikes.
Pumped. No, he was doing this like that leather jacket he always wears. Yeah. He always wears that leather jacket. He was doing that.
But he's just basically like feeding off of the rage. But he's got it,
and he's just sitting there, and like they're yelling back and forth, but Gall is like sitting in the middle of it, just getting like probably in his head, just like, who the fuck are these people? You know what I mean? Like blah blah blah. Anyways, Phil's wife comes up to me and she goes, "Hey, "You're big. Can you just make sure Phil doesn't get killed?" And I was like, "I'll fucking die for Pantera." That was my response. I'd fucking die for Pantera. So now in this thing, there's this guy in like an overalls, a fucking shitty Ultimate Warrior hat, and like this huge beard, and then like these German dudes called German HA dudes over.
Great.
So now there's like German HA guys. One of the dudes,
Hells Angels, for those not familiar.
yeah, one of the dudes is the biggest man I've ever seen in my life. I'm talking like 6'10". Remember Nathan Jones?
Yes, the strongman turned actor turned
That
pro
guy.
wrestler. Yeah,
Like,
he would be scary to
as
see.
big as him. And all I'm thinking right now is like, I'm looking and I'm like, okay, Jimmy Bauer's here. He's not big at all. Pepper's hair looks really nice. And I'm just like looking around and they're staring at me. And I'm just like, this guy's going to kill me and bury me in the woods. I'm fucking dead. I'm so dead right now.
Do you think hit first?
What?
Were you thinking hit first?
I think that if I hit him first, I would die. Like, I think I would explode on impact.
From your impact on his face.
Nothing would have happened.
I don't know.
This dude was, I know, maybe if I put one on him. I don't know. Anyways, the whole time I'm just like,
Not your fretting hand.
I'm going to get fucking killed by this guy. Like, it doesn't matter if the other dudes are gnarly.
Right.
This dude is just, he's looking right at me.
He's gnarly enough for everyone.
He's scary.
And he doesn't like you.
Yeah. And like, Phil is doing this thing where he's pulling like the high school card where like he goes over and he talks to me. He's like, I'm going to go talk to these guys alone. And he goes over and he like talks to him and then he comes back and he goes, you know, he starts saying stuff like, on my word, yeah, or you know, he would say stuff like, okay, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to get this started. Just follow me. And then like go over there and talk to him and then come back. And it went on like back and forth or whatever like that. So it finally gets to the point where like it's their bus call and like Mick, their tour manager, comes out and says, hey, we got to go. And like they walk away. So now it's just me staring at these HA guys. And I walk up to the big guy and I'm like, hey guys, like, you know who that was, right? And they're like, yeah, it's Phil from Pantera. We weren't going to do anything. And I was like, dude, I was so scared of you. And he's like, yeah, we weren't going to do anything. And like, it was like the most, I was so worked up. I remember I was like, I'm going to get, I have to fight him.
You just saw your whole life.
I'm the
before
biggest
your eyes.
guy on this side, 6'2", 250. This guy's 6'10", 800 pounds.
Yeah, 6'15", 800 pounds, just
monster.
huge.
And I'm like, that's the guy I have to fight because he's the biggest guy.
So this giant behemoth of a man stands in front of you, like, you know what? I guess Pantera, I got to go down. You know, if that's how it happens.
I die for Pantera.
But if you see Tony Iommi walking your direction, you dive into a bush.
All right, I'll tell the story. So I was on Ozfest. Black Sabbath is one of my favorite bands of all time. I see Tony Iommi. I call my dad.
One of your favorite guitarists of all time.
He is my favorite guitar player of all time.
Okay.
So I call my dad. I'm like, yo, I'm looking at Tony Iommi right now. And my dad's like, well, go say hi to him. He's like, there's no fucking way I'm going to go up to him and talk to him. As you guys have already heard, the last hour I'm retarded. And Josh likes to point that out. So I'm just talking to my dad. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get killed. Like he's literally gonna think I'm like the worst human being on earth. Like, you know, I'm stupid and blah blah blah. My dad's just like, okay, you're a pussy, blah blah. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll talk to you later. Oh shit, he's coming at me. He's coming at me. He's coming at me. He's walking down here. I'll call you back. And I dove into a bush.
Now, for anybody listening, there was really nowhere around him. There was like this alleyway, right? There was like a wall on one side.
There was a wall on one side that I can't dive through. Because I'm not Nightcrawler.
Right.
And then
or Kitty Pryde.
Yeah, or Kitty Pryde. And
there's a bush.
There's a bush on the other side, like a hedge. So I just dove into the bush, terrified, while like I had my phone in my hand. And like Tony Iommi just kind of like walked past me like, whatever. So like a week later.
Hold on. And then you go
Well, that's where I'm going.
Oh, okay.
So like a week later, I'm in Walmart and I'm shopping for underwear.
Mm-hmm. As one does.
Yeah, and Rob Halford of Judas Priest comes up next to me.
Shocking that he shops at Walmart.
Well, you know, a guy's got to get some skivvies. You know what I mean? So he walks up and he's like, hey, what do you wear? And I'm like, oh, you know, I wear boxer briefs. I like to know where my shit's at, but I like the length of a boxer. So these are already
less chafing, feel more athletic.
Yeah. So he goes, "Oh, I've never tried this. Like, you should probably get them. Like, you should. These kind are awesome." And he on my recommendation, Rob Halford buys these boxer briefs. So we go, and I'm buying blah blah. A couple days go by. Made friends with the Super Joint crew, and their TM's this guy named Jason, exceptional human being, and he's sitting with Rob Halford and Tony Iommi. And I'm walking backstage, and he sees me, and he goes, "Andy, come here real quick. I wanted to introduce my friends." I was like, "No, there's no fucking way. No way I'm going over there right now." Like, he saw me dive in a bush. There's no fucking way. Like, whatever. So I walk up, and conversation starts, and Rob Halford's like, "Oh, man, thanks for the recommendation. You know, they're great." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So then, like, you know, Iommi's talking, and then out of nowhere, he just goes, "Hey, why did you jump in that bush the other day?" And I was like, "All right, guys, I'll see you later."
So he knows you exist, but for jumping into a bush.
Yeah.
And for being a great connoisseur and good with suggestions in terms of underwear,
Yeah,
as far as
underwears.
Rob Halford's concerned.
Yeah.
So they don't know you about playing guitar
Yeah.
or having a band.
Nothing.
No.
I could have been a stage hand,
Underwear and jumping into bushes.
nothing. I literally dove into a bush because I was scared of Tony Iommi.
Did you think he was going to chop the tips of your fingers off?
No. But, that same day, a weird interaction happened with Zach Wilde, too. Where, like, we at the same time, we had the same publicist at the same time, Maria Ferrero.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Hey, I want to introduce you to Zach."
From the Ferrero Rocher?
Yeah. No. So she introduced me to Zach Wilde, and at the time Zach was hitting it pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
And he hands me a drink. And as I just stated, I don't drink.
You don't drink.
So he hands me a drink, and he's like looking at me, and I'm literally like, "Oh fuck, man, what am I gonna do right now? Like, I can't.
There's no bushes.
This guy's gonna fucking make me drink this right now, and I can't." So I'm like, "Yo, what is this? An H3? I start talking bus talk, which I don't know anything about bus. That was the first bus we had ever
What
had.
kind of a diesel is this?
What was that? I'm just like,
Any glow plugs?
Every time he looks, I'm just dumping beer out of this can, and I'm like, "Yeah, totally." So, yeah. Yo, that guitar, I saw you, like, throw a guitar in the crowd. Like, what was that about? You know, and he's like, I'm like, "Yeah, you, like, kind of chucked it
I couldn't make
this."
it squeal anymore.
Yeah, and I was like, and I just kept dumping this beer out. And then there was one day where he was doing this thing where he's throwing shots at the crowd.
Uh-huh.
There's fucking like 20,000 people watching this guy, and somehow one lands in my hand. Like, throws at me.
It doesn't pour
Lands in my
everywhere.
hand, and his whole thing is to, like, watch you, like, do the shot. And there was, like, this little groundskeeper guy next to me. I was, like, kind of, like, to the side.
Sergio.
Lands, and I'm like, and I just hand it over to that guy. He does the shot, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I'm not made for that. I'm not made for the metal world.
Ah, I see. Well,
Yeah.
that being said, you were made enough to make this new album. So why don't you let everybody know where they can pick it up and the name of it?
You can literally pick it up anywhere, I think.
Yeah,
I would
Best
go to,
Buy,
yeah, you can
Sam
go to-
Goody,
Yeah.
The Warehouse.
Record Town. Yeah, I would, for me, wait until, if you go, like, July 1st, if you go to iTunes, you get the deluxe, and you get 2 extra songs. That's what I would do.
I didn't get 2 extra songs.
You should have got 16 songs, because we recorded 16 songs, but there's only 14 on the record.
Okay.
So at some point,
iTunes,
I'll give you the other 2.
SoundCloud,
Yeah,
Bandcamp.
yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, do you guys have an LP, or is it going to come out on vinyl?
Yeah, you can right now if you want to come to Warped Tour, you can get the record in advanced, and you can get the vinyl in advanced, and we have everything in advanced. We've had it since day one.
In advanced. In the advanced stages of being an LP.
But it comes out July 1st.
Do you have to be a sport athlete to get the album on vinyl?
Not this again. You're a one sport athlete. I'm not gonna like.
What's the name of
pluralize.
the album?
It's called From Parts Unknown.
From Parts. Did you name the album, Mr.
No,
Pro Wrestling Head?
Keith did it.
Is Keith a big pro wrestling
No.
head?
I mean, he likes pro wrestling, but it's not like.
All right. Every Time I Die from Parts Unknown, available on iTunes and fine retailers everywhere, and you can get the vinyl at Warped Tour.
Yeah,
not to
Warped
mention
Tour.
plenty of other merch.
Yep. I mean, you can just go to our website and
That
do
works.
that. EveryTimeIDie.net.
That works. And where can we find you in the social media webs?
At Andy Complains for Instagram and Twitter. And that's, yeah.
Do you actually use your Twitter much anymore?
Yeah, I do. I say
I know
some
you're
stupid
big on the
stuff every once in a
Instagram.
while. Yeah,
You're big
Instagram's
on that.
okay. Yeah. I like monkeys.
You live your life through the lens of the camera, bud.
Not all the time.
No.
But when embarrassing stuff happens, I'll put it up there. That's pretty much it.
Like
I think that's like the most important thing. I think that's why I like you.
Because I embarrass you?
No. Well, you do embarrass me by far. This is a horrible idea for me to come on this. But you don't take yourself as serious as most. And I think that's like a very important thing. If you're out there and you're watching because you're a fan of Josh Barnett, this isn't a play. He's not a guy that's trying to sell himself. Like Josh kind of puts himself out there and puts himself on his sleeve. And basically what you hear and what you see is what is the reality of the human behind it.
This is true. And considering I hardly ever wear sleeves at all.
Yeah, never. I think the last couple times you've came to see us play, you were sleeveless.
Yeah.
Are you taking a hard stance?
I'm not taking a hard stance against sleeves.
And legs. Legs doesn't wear sleeves ever.
It's, I like the freedom of movement.
Yeah.
But you can see me and all my sleevelessness on Instagram as well at Josh L. Barnett. Yeah. And same for me. I followed it right over to Twitter. Josh L. Barnett on Twitter and on Instagram.
It's easy that way.
It is easy that way. One-stop shopping, essentially, when it comes to a name. Now, Josh Barnett conquers the world. You can come find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, as well as foxsports.com. You can go straight to the source and listen to it there. You can also find a new Twitter account specifically for the podcast so that you guys can. It's not me exactly, but I'm a part of it. JB Conquers on Twitter, and that's going to be a nice little spot that we'll put up pictures, things, and information. Think of it more as a pit stop on the way to all things Josh Barnett and for Josh Barnett Conquers.
I started
the
following
world.
yesterday.
I appreciate that, buddy.
Welcome.
I really do.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Is it?
I guess you get like content. I'll know what you're doing on here.
You will. You won't have to wonder no more.
Yeah.
You'll be able to sleep at night.
Was my interview better than Shayna's?
Different.
Yeah.
You'll just have to wait. I think you gave a great interview.
Okay.
You could give interview.
Am I stupid?
No. Well, you know what? I think that you are a very approachable and interesting young man with a lot of experience in life and a real different way of looking at it. Yeah. I mean, it's okay if you're really happy that there's a red wheelbarrow. It's fine,
Yeah, I get it.
You've been excellent. I'm glad to have you on, and we have a whole ton of material in the future, and so I'm hoping to have you back on. We can talk about tattoos and more music and everything else.
Well, we have way more.
Yeah, we do. We went through at least 4 podcasts worth in the car alone. Yeah. So this will not be a short-term
in future
thing.
ventures. I told you this is the last thing. I told you that I wanted to wrestle. That my bucket list to wrestle one match in a ring.
I'm going to make that happen.
Yeah.
And as much as you cry and whine and piss your pants about it,
I will get you. There's never going to be any of that.
I will get you in the ring.
One match.
At least one match.
One match.
No, it's at least one match. That is the declaration here, because you know what? If it goes over well, you're going to be back in that ring, and you're going to. It's a different experience, man. And it's like being on stage, but not the same.
Yeah.
Trust me.
First and final.
Okay. We'll see. Thank you for tuning in. I am Josh Warmaster Barnett. My guest has been Andy Williams from the band Every Time I Die. Evan Rodner, the silent this week, but don't get used to that. He's a part of the crew, man. He's not just a producer. He's a client.
Just letting Andy have his good time. I don't want to rain on your guys' parade.
I got just stupid stuff to say. You should have just chimed in.
It's all good. Thank you for tuning in. You'll hear us on Tuesday, 9 a.m., and we'll be looking to hear from you soon. All right. Thank you very much.